Hey, so welcome back to the channel. So behind me, I am presenting this 2017 Lexus IS350 F Sport. As you can see, it's in this beautiful ultra white pearl exterior, and the interior color is I might pronounce it wrong, Rioja red and aluminum trim. This car stickered at just under $50,000, but right now it is the quickest IS you can buy, since they no longer produce the Monster V8 in these cars anymore. If you want the V8, you have to move on to the GSF or the RCF. But moving forward, the IS350 comes in a few different models, starting with the 4-cylinder, which is the IS200T. It's a 4-cylinder turbo, and the IS300, which is basically the V6 engine, the 3.5 liter V6. That's just under 260 horsepower, and then you have the 350, which is here in 306 horsepower, 3.5 liter. Two different drivetrains available: rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. One here is rear-wheel drive. I think the rear-wheel drive is the way to go unless you live in a place where it snows a lot. I think all-wheel drive would be the option to get. And just with the updates here, you see 17s, they gave this thing a nice big opening grille. I just really like the look on this car, and I really miss that Lexus didn't do the V8 in these anymore, because this car just looks like, it just looks more menacing than you'll find with the previous style, and the V8 would just be more fitting. Also with 17 and up, Lexus have added their standard safety features, including their forward collision warning with automatic emergency braking. You have lane departure warning and adaptive cruise control and automatic high beam. So let's take a walk around the car, and we'll go over some of the exterior. I'll cover the wheels. These wheels are also F Sport exclusive. They're finished in like a graphite look here, and also exclusive is the F Sport badging. If you don't get the F Sport, then the grille is slightly different. The wheels are a little bit different style, but overall, I think all the IS trims just have that mean looking, I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat something, whatever car's on the way, I'm gonna eat it, you know, look in the front of it. So as we're taking our walk around this car, and I'm just gonna cover a lot of the details. Just the more aggressive front fascia here, it's absolutely stunning. And these wheels are staggered, so you have a 225 40 18 up front and a 255 35 18 in the rear, and that's exclusive to the F Sport models. And also, if you know, 17 received the update taillights, so it almost has this like a 3D look effect, especially at night. And the exhaust tips are now going from a round to more of a triangular shape. Moving on to the inside, start with the key, and right away you have your F logo. It's got it's like this red contrast stitching around it, kind of it's like an updated Toyota key, but overall this, you know, has aluminum trim on this key hook. Like the key is a Lexus Smart Key Access, and there's a little dimple here. Press that, lock the car. You hear the car locks, confirmation beep. And it's only on 2 front doors. The rear doors do not have any sensors. But to unlock the car, just grab the door handle. Now we can see the inside. let's go with the red leather. And I think the white and the red is probably one of the best looking combinations in this car. Have the red leather on the doors, have the aluminum trim around the window controls. All 4 windows are automatically up and down. Power mirrors, power locks. Nothing here on the top, just the vinyl. And this car has the optional all-weather mats. If you didn't get the all-weather mats, you actually get a floor mat that still kind of continues the theme with the black with the red stitching. There are aluminum racing pedals. Nice touch with the F Sport. Surprisingly, there's no electronic parking brake. Most manufacturers are going at. This is still a push on, push off. I think that's a little bit less sporty, but you know, it works. So there's got the trunk button, you have your blind spot monitor, and you have your automatic high beam. You can activate that or turn it off if you to choose. Headlights are automatic. Unfortunately, they're not fully automatic. They just only turn off during dusk and dawn. If it's raining, you need to actually activate the light separately. Headlights are LED, and that's something that they're doing now with all the Lexus IS. Everyone has LED headlights. Steering wheel, very nice. Leather wrap steering wheel, good feel in your hands. Not as thick as I would find in the BMW, but still, you know, good feeling steering wheel. Has the red contrast stitching throughout the wheel. Aluminum finish, got the F Sport logo right here in the bottom of the wheel to remind you that you're driving an F Sport. Sitting in here, start stop button is raised up here. Nothing on top of the dash, just kind of a vinyl look here. You do receive, depending on the color trim you get, if you have the red leather, you're going to get the red contrast stitching with little leather here on top of the steering wheel. If you get the black interior, you're going to have black, obviously you're going to have white stitching. Upgraded Lexus clock. I see this is kind of like what Fanny's been using for a while. The analog clock just kind of gives it more of an upscale look here. Automatic climate control, dual zone. These climate controls work by like little sensors, so you're just sliding your finger up and across, which I'll demonstrate that here later. Has upgraded Mark Levinson stereo, which is a big upgrade from the previous ones. Glove box is softly damp. It's got no aluminum trim across the front. And also with this, and this is kind of basic looking, but 17 they did, you know, this used to be like just a plain plastic. They did put some little lines across the front to give it a little bit more upscale look. Also, you have heated and ventilated seats, so definitely nice touch here. The ventilated seats, I would say, work great. They are probably one of my favorite seats. Only other seats I felt like they worked that well was in a Porsche. It's like the Audi and the BMW. I feel like I can't really feel them as much as far as the cooling, but this one actually, as soon as you activate it, you're getting cooled down right away. If you don't get the F Sport and you decide to go for the normal IS and you get the luxury package, you can get automatic wipers. But this one, at least with 2017, they didn't do automatic wipers. They were just the intermittent wipers. I believe 18 they decided to add in a couple extra features like automatic wipers, and the headlights swivel in the corners, which used to be in the previous ISs, but then they took it away and then they're kind of bringing it back. Up top, you have Lexus. Basically like their Inform, just kind of like their giant GM's OnStar. It's got automatic dimming rearview mirror, home link here. Mirror dims out, side view mirror is also dim. It's like no LED map or reading lights, dome light, it's just an incandescent bulb. And here you have your vanity for light. Both driver and passenger. sunroof, tilt and slide, which I'm going to demonstrate that here in a second. Let's get this car started. So to start, put your foot on the brake, keys in your pocket, or as long as it's inside the car, press the brake. And exclusive to the F Sport is the F Sport gauges. If you didn't get the F Sport, you'll have your traditional dual, tachometer, speedometer setup, up here. But with this F Sport, they take a gauge from with the LFA, and the gauge moves depending on your stuff. You need more settings. So I think by hitting this button on the steering wheel, it gives you more. And now the gauge slides out of the way, and you can see more options you can customize. Lane departure, warning, the pre-collision system. There's different settings in here. This car can also monitor your driving habits. So if you're driving on a long road trip and it starts to realize that the way you're driving, you're going to be getting drowsy, it will prompt you to take a rest break. So you can have that on, and it'll tell you how much time, the rest. Obviously, this is now the other setup, so you have your water temperature and your fuel down here. If you decide not to want that, you have now there on the side. Going between the different modes, because I can show you that here 1 second, because I still haven't covered everything in this car. But going between different modes changes also this cluster. And this is all your drive modes. You have your eco mode, which basically thumbs down the acceleration, forces the climate control to recirculate more often, and it just try to basically encourage better fuel mileage. Normal is also in the middle, and then you have Sport, and by this being the IS350, you have the Sport Plus. With the Sport Plus on the F Sports, it changes the suspension also. If you don't get the, if you have the IS350, I'm sorry, you have the IS300 or IS200 with the F Sport, unfortunately you don't get the Sport Plus with the adaptive variable suspension. But it really helps the ride quality, minimizes body roll. If you prefer, softer ride, obviously you can go back to a normal ride. And if you prefer to customize your setup, you can actually do a custom by, when you're in normal mode, pressing this once, now you're custom setup. So this car is configured right now to drive normal, but in the custom setup, without going to Sport Plus, transmission and steering, you can just have just the ride only. When you're going to Sport, you're going to have the Sport transmission, and the steering is going to be a little bit tighter. Going to Sport Plus, now it adds in the suspension in addition to the transmission. Now, going through different modes, you're going to see right now I have like a black and white, and now going to eco mode, and then you have normal. So each one changes between the Sport and the normal mode changes the, and when you're in this mode, well, I won't show now because I'm not going to rev this car this high, but when I'm driving, you're going to see how the gauge will turn red as you near a red line. Going through the climate control, it is automatic, and I'll demonstrate this here in a second. Sliding your finger up across can change the setting, or you can just individually, or like I said, you can just quickly ramp to your temperature you want. It is a dual zone, and this can be controlled here, and also if you want to see it on the main screen, so you definitely have more options here in the screen. You can choose, you can actually, normally when you're eco mode, it changes the climate into eco, but for example, if you just want to stay in normal mode, and you can activate that eco mode separately. Also, you have buttons here for just the defroster and the feet, and you have this one here which is not. This one is an extra option. Turn this down. This is that micro air filter that I maybe mentioned in my ISF review, where you activate this and now you're forcing the air to get quickly recycled through a high pollen filter to clean the air up really quickly. This runs for about 3 minutes or so, and then it defaults back to fresh air. So like I said, if you're somewhere, if there's a lot of dusty in the cabin, a lot of dust, and you're trying to clean this cabin up really quickly, this is a quick way to do it. Like I said, it runs through high pollen filters. I'm not going to say how many microns it filters out, but just think of it like a super duper filter. Let's put it that way. You have your maps, and you can have this in split screen, or you can have map in full screen if you want. Right now we're in a split screen, so you can choose between, for example, you have your phone here. You can have, you know, your consumption, or you can have the climate, or you can have the audio. You know, different ways to choose. Or if I had the map here, and I could just use this one as my climate. But I think most people just have the setup as the map is the main screen, and then, you know, their additionals on the right. Also, you have Lexus App Suite. You can do, you know, pair it to your phone. You have different options, and see, my phone's not connected to here, but it uses your phone to, you can check fuel prices, stock iHeartRadio, just different little apps you can have in here. If you have the subscription, you can use your phone to look up a destination and then automatically send it to your car without having to go in and type everything in individually. So, you know, for me, I like using my phone to search for a place, but now I can just send it to the car without having to have my phone and as my main source of navigation. It does have XM radio, and as I said, with the Smart Levison, I believe it's 860 watts. It is a really good sound system. I would say not as good as what I find with the Bang & Olufsen, but it is pretty good. The bass is really bassy, and the surround sound is crystal clear. Also in the maps, and say for example, I'm in the split screen and I want to have a full map. I don't want to look at, you know, half. You can do this in the full screen by going up here, and now you have a full screen of just map. And now if you want to have, like I said, your radio back, you can it defaults back to split screen, but each time you hit map, it'll be a full screen. And going back now, you have your selections. Also, a way to tell if you have marked Levison, if you're looking for these cars on the used market, look for these little knobs. If they're like this dull appearance, it's Smart Levison. If it's the high gloss shiny, it is not Smart Levison. The transmission is an 8-speed automatic. It is the direct shift. It's the automatic transmission directly from the ISF. So it's got the quick shifting automatic transmission. If you decide to go with the all-wheel drive version, unfortunately you won't get the 8-speed. You'll end up getting the 6-speed transmission, which is still okay, but you're gonna miss out on that quick shifting that you'll find in the ISF. And also here you have your lane departure warning, and it can actually pull the steering wheel a little bit to guide you back into your lane. So if you're drifting out unintentionally, the steering wheel will actually intervene and guide you back. When you have your cruise control activated, you can choose your range. You can choose how distance. How many basically your following distance in 3 different levels. This cruise control does not do stop and go. So after 20-30 miles an hour, it will turn off and you have to reactivate the cruise control separately. And then we got paddle shifters, nice feeling paddle shifters. And going over to the cup holders, got 2 cup holders, not a very large cup holder. And then you have a couple of USB ports here, auxiliary. You have a 12-volt charging, and just a softly damped kind of felt liner in here. Now I want to criticize this for a second. I've tried to use this while I'm driving, and I find myself when I'm going through different selections, you have to have this thing tuned properly because it does give you feedback. I mean, it basically has your enter button here or there, and you have feedback, and you can either select it by pressing down, or you can press the enter. But it does give you some tactile feedback as you're sliding across different options. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. It works, but maybe I'm just not used to it. And also the blind spot, unfortunately, is it doesn't work. It doesn't detect cars that are rapidly approaching like some manufacturers are doing. I think maybe it only can detect a car that's actively in your blind spot. So like the Audi, I think Subaru, Hyundai, BMW, when a car is rapidly approaching your blind spot, you're gonna get an advanced warning before that car reaches it. It can detect when someone's coming up really fast or slow, but with this car, fortunately, it only is going to detect when the car actually is in your blind spot. So be mindful of that when you change lanes. And up here, we'll go ahead and do the sunroof. And right now it's in the tilt position here. And if I want to open it, so it looks like I have to go down first. This is the one touch, there it goes. And close it. There it goes. So one setting for the minimize damping, and then this is fully open. So they stop it there, obviously, to feel like that's the best for wind noise. Yeah. Sitting here in the driver's seat, there's no power tilt. Telescopic steering wheel is all manual. And like I said, I don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I think the 2018s, I think they finally added it in here. Seats are very supportive, bolstered nicely, and like I said, ventilated seats work nice in here. Really like it. Nice feeling steering wheel, shifter, have different settings. Obviously, you go forward, back. You have backrest, and you have lumbar adjustments as well. No memory seats in this car, also. Just that you guys know, no memory seats. And I said that I think that's bundled in the next package. I think, for example, that's in the luxury package, and you at 17 you couldn't get the luxury package in the F Sport. They wouldn't let you do it. You know, if I tried to build it that way, that wasn't the way they would let you do it. So if you want those options, look for an 18 and up, because I think those cars, they finally allowed that the luxury package to be bundled with the F Sport package. And I said luxury package is what gives you those memory seats. It gives you the parking sensors on the exterior, the rain sensing wipers, you know, those extra options that are missing on this car. I keep doing this, keep hitting my head on this as I'm coming to these cars. But I am 5'8", sitting behind myself, and is larger than the 2012 IS that I had. Not that much larger, but I feel like I'm sitting up a little bit more, and I have slightly more leg room than I did before. Obviously, you still get the leather back here as well. Additional speaker. There isn't any charging or USB ports back here. You looks like all you have is just a couple of air vents. So moving into here is like just a couple air vents. As far as cup holders go, let's see what we got. We have center armrest, And we have 2 cup holders that eject out nicely. And armrest, just a little, it's okay, just armrest. And since it's the rear-wheel drive car, you have a big hump in the middle. So if you plan on putting 5 people back here, just be mindful that someone's gonna have to put their legs around this big old hump, and it's high. It is high. I'm assuming that's for the drive shaft coming through here, and making the same basically interior for an all-wheel drive. Seats are perforated, very nice, and it's said to keep you cool on long road trips. So coming into the trunk room here, generous amount of room. You see you have, I think it's about 10.8 cubic feet in here. It's got a mat, and also you get a first aid kit, no extra charge with the Lexus, in case you cut your hand on your coffee mug. And nice way to close the trunk. Got a little handle here to shut it so you don't touch your paint. I still touch the paint anyway. So we'll walk around, and then we'll go under the hood, take a look, and then we'll go for a drive. This engine bay is really clean. We have a lot of plastic, but this is the 3.5 liter V6 producing 306 horsepower. They've been using this engine and horsepower for a few years now, at least since 2006 when they first did this. When they first did the IS350, I think it finally received a bump in 2019, small bump. I'm not sure it's drastic. I think it just went up just a few horsepower. The engine code is a 2GR-FSE. But very clean. This engine is, like I said, tried and true. Very reliable engine. Not had this many miles of trouble-free with this. And this car seems to capture a lot of that driving feel, that just the sound, just sounding you're going fast. I think this is exclusive to the F Sports of how they tune the intake resonators to make sure that you still get that nice sound coming through the cabin. It's not artificial. Everything is pure 100% engine. It's just through the intake, and so it's been tuned for F Sport to give it a good sound, and I really enjoy it.